Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Saturday, August 27, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you at least 5 betting picks for each game, a team pick, a total pick, and multiple prop bets based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Los Angeles Rams vs Cincinnati Bengals. The Los Angeles Rams visit Packer Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio on Saturday to play the Cincinnati Bengals in the final game of the NFL preseason for both teams. Los Angeles dropped to 1-1 in the preseason following its 24-20 loss to the Houston Texans after opening the preseason with a 29-22 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. Our team pick is Cincinnati Bengals minus 2.5 points, and here is why. The Rams are not winning preseason games with any consistency. Coach Sean McVay is 7-10 in his career in preseason action, and the Rams have now dropped 4 out of their last 5 preseason games. Furthermore, the Bengals have received outstanding production from backup QB Brandon Allen. He is sporting a 10-6 TD to INT ratio in his limited career action in regular season play. I also like Jake Browning, who was a star QB in college. He tallied 190 passing yards against the Cardinals in the first preseason bout and 89 last week. The Rams' defense is giving up several points. They have allowed 22 and 24 points respectively in their 2 preseason games against the Chargers and Texans. The defense of the Cincinnati Bengals has been struggling as they are giving up 30.5 points per game. In their previous game against the New York Giants, they allowed 25 points on 423 total yards of offense. A huge red flag was the fact that they allowed the Giants to go 9 of 16 on third down attempts and 2 of 3 on fourth down attempts. If this Cincinnati defense cannot figure out ways to get off of the field, then they are in for a long season. The defense of the Los Angeles Rams has been doing pretty well over their first 2 preseason games as they are allowing 23 points per game. In their last game against the Houston Texans, they gave up 24 points on 274 total yards of offense. They need to be better at stopping the running game as they allowed 4.3 yards per carry in the game. The defense stepping up is a great sign to see at this point of the preseason. Our total pick is under 37.5 points. And here is why. These defenses have not been doing too great this preseason, but this is a chance for both teams to play against weaker offenses and means not a lot of scoring. These offenses have been doing well, but this could be a huge game for the starting players to finally get some action, and the defenses should thrive as they typically are ahead of the offenses. Our prop bets are Cincinnati Bengals over 20.5 points. When it comes to how much they scored, the Bengals sat 7th in the NFL, averaging 27.1 points per contest. Last year, the Bengals had a total of 4,403 passing yards, not to mention an average of 259.0 passing yards per contest, which had them ranked 7th in the NFL. They maintained an average of 102.5 yards per game on the ground and rushed for 1,742 yards for the year. The Cincinnati Bengals had an average of 361.5 yards per contest, which ranked them 13th in the league. The Cincinnati offense accrued 620 penalty yards on 72 infractions, which had them ranked 31st in the NFL in terms of hurting your team. They tossed 14 picks while surrendering 7 fumbles, and they tallied 208 first downs. Cincinnati surrendered a total of 1,742 yards rushing, 102.5 yards/game, in addition to 15 touchdowns by ground last season. They yielded 26 touchdowns through the air in addition to 248.4 yards/game, which had them in 26th in the NFL. They totaled 21 turnovers, 8 fumbles recovered, and 13 interceptions over the course of the prior season. In total, they gave up 376 points in total. The Bengals defense took the field for 1,075 plays, which had them ranked 17th in the NFL. The Bengals conceded 22.1 points per game, which had them in 17th in the NFL. Our second pick is Los Angeles Rams under 20.5 points. The Rams earned 6,325 yards in total for the prior year. Los Angeles accounted for 233 first downs as a team, and they were flagged for 76 infractions for 637 yards. Los Angeles totaled 41 touchdowns through the air and 10 touchdowns via the ground. They gave the ball to the opposition 23 different times, 18 picks and 5 fumbles lost. As a team, they averaged 99.0 yards on the ground, which had them sitting 25th in the NFL. Regarding scoring points, the Los Angeles Rams had an average of 27.1 ppg. Concerning passing yardage, the Rams allowed 4,109 yards, which ranked them 22nd in the NFL. During their 17 games played last year, they gave up 241.7 yards per contest via the pass, as well as relinquishing a completion percentage of 66.6%. They allowed 344.9 yards per game, ranking them 17th in the league. They allowed 17 touchdowns via the pass in addition to 18 rushing touchdowns. They gave up 4.0 yards per run and 103.2 rushing yards per game last year. For the season, they gave up 1,754 rushing yards through 17 games. The Rams were sitting in 15th in the National Football League concerning team defense, giving up 21.9 points per game. Our player props are: first pick is Matthew Stafford, over 0.5 touchdowns. Second pick is Matthew Stafford, under 100.5 rating QB. The Los Angeles Rams ended the season having a 15-5 record. In their last game of last year, the Rams went up against the Bengals and walked away with a win by a score of 23-20. Matthew Stafford went 26-40 with 283 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. He had a QB rating of 89.9 and walked away from the contest with 2 interceptions. Cam Akers was the leader on the ground for the Rams with 13 attempts for 21 yards, 1.6 yards per attempt. Cooper Kupp averaged 11.5 yards per catch by earning 92 yards on 8 catches. The Los Angeles Rams ran the football 23 different times and had 43 yards, which came out to an average of 1.9 yards per carry. In the game, they ran 66 plays, which gave them a total of 313 yards. Los Angeles allowed 16 completions on 30 tries for 232 yards and a completion percentage of 53.3%. Against the rush, the Rams conceded 50 yards on 20 attempts, which calculates to 2.5 yards per rush allowed. Our third pick is Joe Burrow, over 90.5 rating QB. The Bengals wrapped up their year having earned a 13-7 record. In their last game last season, the Bengals went home defeated by a final of 23-20 against the Rams. Joe Mixon carried the rock 15 times for 72 yards, walking away from the game with 4.8 yards per attempt for Cincinnati. Tyler Boyd was a featured target for the Bengals, snagging 5 footballs for 48 yards, 9.6 yards per reception. Joe Burrow, 1 TD, ended the game with 263 yards on 22-33 through the air, while his QB rating was 100.9. He didn't toss any picks and his average yards per pass attempt was 7.97 yards. Cincinnati surrendered 24 attempts on the ground for 139 yards, 5.8 yards per carry. The Bengals secondary conceded a completion percentage of 66.7%, surrendering 236 yards on 26 out of 39 through the air. The Bengals finished the contest with 305 yards and they ran 61 plays, 5.0 yards per play. Cincinnati ended up running for 4.0 yards per attempt, finishing the contest with 79 yards on 20 carries.